Okay, this is the Illustrator Chapter 1 lecture. It's on getting to know Illustrator. In this chapter, we are going to explore the Illustrator workspace, view and modify artboard elements, work with the objects and smart guides, create basic shapes, apply fill and stroke colors to objects, select, move, and align objects, transform objects, make direct selections, and work with multiple artboards. Okay, Illustrator is a professional illustration software application. With Illustrator, you can create everything from simple graphics, icons, and text to complex and multi-layer illustrations, all of which can be used within a page layout, in a multimedia presentation, or on the web. The arrangement of windows and panels that you see when you bring it up on your monitor is called the workspace. The Illustrator workspace features the following areas: the artboard, the pasteboard, menu bar, control panel, tools panel, and a stack of collapsed panels along the right side of the document window. Illustrator offers a number of predefined workspaces that are customized for different types of tasks, such as typography, which is for type or text. Your default workspace is your essentials, and you can switch from one workspace to another by clicking Windows on the application bar, pointing to Workspace, and then choosing a workspace. And here it shows your control panel, your tools panel, your artboard, your panel dock, your workspace switcher up at the top, and your essentials workspace menu bar here in this illustration. As its name implies, your tools panel houses all the tools that you'll work with in Illustrator. The first thing that you should know about the tools panel is that not all tools are visible, many are hidden. If you look closely, you will see that some tools have small black triangles beside them. The triangle indicates that other tools are hidden behind them. And to access the hidden tools, you point to the visible tool on the tools panel, then press and hold the mouse button. This will reveal a menu of hidden tools. And then the small black square to the left of a tool name in the submenu will indicate which tool is currently visible on your tools panel. When you expose hidden tools, you can click the small triangle to the right of the menu and create a separate panel for those tools. And you can see this in Figure 4 on page 1-6 in your book. You can view it as a single column or a double column, okay? And in Figure 3, you can see where you can separate tools and make them a floating tool panel. And that's on page 1-5 in your book, okay? Alright, panels are windows containing features for modifying and manipulating your Illustrator objects. Many essential Illustrator functions are grouped into panels. You can access all panels from the window menu. Some panels are placed within categories on your window menu. When you choose a panel from the menu, the panel is displayed in expanded view. And you can close any panel by clicking the Close button in the top right corner of the panel. And you can display panel options by clicking the Panel Options button. Okay, to reduce the size of a panel, you can click the Collapse to Icons button, which displays a panel only by its name and an icon. To better manage available workspace, you can group panels, and you can also minimize or collapse panels to make them smaller, but still available in the workspace. This shows to access the panel menu for additional options. This shows where your panel options button is there on the right side of the panel. And then it shows here two panels grouped together to minimize the space that's being used. You can dock panels as shown here. so that they are docked together and they'll move together. Alright, so let's go out and look at some of this stuff in actual Illustrator. So if we pull up Illustrator, go to File, and then go to Open once it comes up. Go to wherever you've stored the downloaded data files for this chapter. And open up AI1-1. It may take it a few minutes to open. Well, it seems to be hung up. We'll have to give it just a minute. Okay, so now that you have it opened up, we're going to click Window, and we're going to go to Workspace. We're going to click Essentials. Alright, if Essentials is already open, go to Reset Essentials. And then look at your workspace. Click the double arrows on the tool panel to make it a one column tool panel, and then click it again to go back to a two column. Okay. All your figures that will be in this book that shows the tools panel will show it as a two column panel. Okay, point to the type tool, which is here, and notice that as you hover you get a tooltip telling you that's the type tool. Then press and hold your mouse. Okay. To see the type on path tool. Okay, so you can see all the different tools there. The vertical type tool, all those are hidden under the type tool. Alright, come off of that one. View other hidden tools, like this one here. You have group selection and direct selection. Here you have line segment, arc tool, spiral tool, rectangular grid tool, polar grid tool. So you have different tools under different options. Your visible tools may differ from mine if you've played around in it already and chosen different tools. Alright, click Edit. Point to Preferences, and then click General. Then bring up your Preferences box. Verify that Show Tooltips is checked, and click OK. Here. Position your mouse over the selection tool until its tooltip appears. Then press the following keys. Press A, and notice which tools become active. Press P, V, T, I, H, and Z. Alright, those are called hotkeys that you can access the tools from the keyboard. Alright, press Tab. This will hide all open panels and give you more area there on the workspace. And if you press Tab again, your panels will come back. Now we want to go and we're going to open this up, and we want to see swatches. Alright, your panel, if we go and collapse this again and we just click our swatches here, it will pop out that way. It's still docked, it's not detached, it's just popped out from the side so that you can see the contents. It should be grouped with your symbols and brushes. You can drag the Swatches panel name tab to the left so it's ungrouped from the stack. Alright. Then we want to click Color and open up the Color panel. If you do not see the CMYK sliders in the Color panel, click the Color panel options and then click Show Options, and you'll see it like this. Alright. Drag your Color panel name tab to the left so it's ungrouped. Then drag it to the blank space next to the Swatches panel and group it with the Swatches panel. Click Window and then click Transform. The Transform panel appears expanded on the document. Drag the Transform panel name tab to the bottom edge of the swatches. Okay. Then when a horizontal blue line appears, release your mouse. The Transform panel is now docked with your Swatches panel. Click the Transform panel name tab, then drag it away from the other two panels. And the Transform panel becomes undocked. Click Window, Workspace, and then Reset Essentials. Okay, that's how you dock and group and ungroup and undock different panels. Alright. Now we're going to go back to the PowerPoint for just a few minutes. The Zoom tool is found on the Tools panel, and it's used to adjust your magnification. You click the document window with the Zoom tool to enlarge it. You can press and hold Alt while clicking the document to reduce it. Okay, and then this shows where your magnification levels are indicated on your screen, both in the tab and at the bottom there. To switch temporarily to the Zoom tool while using other tools, press and hold Control Spacebar, then click to zoom in. To zoom out, press and hold Control Alt Spacebar. The Hand tool is found on the Tools panel, and use the Hand tool to move a document around. The keyboard shortcut for accessing the Hand tool is to simply press and hold Spacebar. Rulers are positioned at the top and left side of the pasteboard to help you align objects. You simply click Show Rulers, Hide Rulers on the View menu to show and hide your rulers. This feature helps in precise positioning and sizing. Rulers can display measurements in different units such as inches, picos, or points, and you determine the units with which you want to work in the Preferences dialog box. Okay. On the Edit menu, point to Preferences, and then you would click Units to display that dialog box, and then choose your units. Alright. Ruler guides are horizontal and vertical rulers that you can position anywhere in a layout as a reference for positioning elements. In addition to guides, Illustrator offers a document grid for precise alignment. With the snap options turned on, objects that you move around on the page automatically align themselves with guides or with the grid quickly and easily. And then this shows in Preferences how to where you're changing your units, what that dialog box looks like. All objects you create have visible selection marks or selection edges, and when you select an object, those edges automatically show. You can opt to hide them on the View menu. So this shows it with selection marks visible and with them hidden. Screen modes are options for viewing your documents. The two basic ones are normal and outline. In normal mode, objects are displayed with fills, strokes, and effects. In outline mode, objects are displayed as hollow shapes with no fills, strokes, or effects. Working in outline mode can be helpful for careful selections. You can work with multiple open documents, and you can set them as tabs in your workspace. Shortcut keys allow quick access to commands essential for performing basic and complex operations. When available, shortcut keys are listed beside your commands on the menu. And then here are some shortcut keys and commands, and it shows for Windows and for Mac. So just hide and show guides is control apostrophe semicolon. Hide show edges is control H. Hide and show rulers is control R, and so on. Preferences are specifications you can set for how certain features of the application behave, and the Preferences dialog box houses the multitude of Illustrator preferences available. Illustrator features 12 Preferences dialog boxes, and preferences are defaults you set for how you want everything to work. Many preferences offer important choices that will have significant impact on how you work. Alright, so let's go back and work through the tutorial. We are now on page 1-19 in your book. Press Z on your keyboard to access your zoom tool. Position it over the document. Click twice to enlarge the document. And then press Alt and click twice to reduce it. And notice how your pointer has the little minus in it in your glass there, your magnification glass there, to show that you're reducing it. Click the zoom level list arrow right here, and then click 800%. Note that 800% is now listed in your document tab as well as here in your zoom level list arrow. Now double click 800% in that text box and change it to 300. And press enter. Okay, notice now it shows 300 up here. Click your hand tool, then click and drag your document window around. Okay, so it changes where you're looking at your document in the window. Double click the zoom tool. The magnification automatically changes to 100%, or the actual size. Click your selection tool. Point to the center of the document window. Then press and hold Control Spacebar. It changes to your zoom tool. Alright. Click 3 times and then release. Now press and hold the spacebar. It changes to your hand tool, and then you can scroll your image around. Press and hold Control Alt Spacebar, and click the mouse multiple times to reduce your view to 25%. Alright, and then you're going to have to scroll it around to find it. Alright. Your document window should now resemble figure 22 on page 1-19. Click View on the menu bar. Note the shortcut key on the for Fit All in Window. Then click Fit Artboard in Window. Click View on the menu bar. Point to Rulers. Then note the Show Hide Rulers command and its shortcut key. Leave the view. Then press Ctrl R. Press it several times to hide and show your rulers. Finish with rulers showing. So that turns them on and off. Okay? Note the units of your rulers. Depending on the preferences you have set, your rulers might be showing inches, picas, or another unit of measure. You can right click here and it shows you what is chosen. Okay? You can also go to Edit, Preferences, Units, and it'll show you there what's chosen. Okay? Click the General List arrow, then click Picas, and she said OK. Your ruler then changes to Picas. And if you right click here, you'll see that Picas is chosen. Reopen the Units Preference dialog box and change it to inches, or you can change it to inches from here. Click Select on your menu and click All. Click View on the menu bar. Then note the Hide Show Edges command and its shortcut key. Right here, Control H. Okay. The command is listed as either hide edges or show edges depending on your status. Leave the view menu, then press Control H several times to switch between the two, finishing with marks showing. Well, it's not wanting to work. Let's say Select, View, Show Edges. Okay, it has to be selected. It has Select All turned off. So you can go back and forth between the two with it selected. Click the Select menu, then click Deselect. Click View. Go to Guides. And then Hide Show Guides here. Notice your shortcut. Escape from your view menu and then press Control semicolon several times to turn your guides on and off. Finish with your guides showing. Click View, Show Grid, I'll leave the menu and then press Control and then the quotation mark several times to turn it on or off. Finish with your grid showing. Alright, now hide your grids and your guides. Alright. Click View. Note the shortcut key command for outline mode. Right here. Then escape the menu. Press Control Y repeatedly to Google between outline and normal. Toggle between outline and normal. finish in normal mode. Click Edit, go to Preferences, then click User Interface. Verify that the Open Documents as Tabs is checked, and then click OK. Click File, Save As, Motocross. And then click the Save button. Alright, to save the file with a new name. If this pops up, your options, just click OK. Now open file AI1-2. Then click the tabs of each document several times to toggle between them. Okay. Drag the Motocross AI tab straight down approximately ½ inch. When you drag a tab document down, it becomes untabbed in a floating document. Position your mouse pointer over the upper right or bottom right corner of the document window. Alright. And then click and drag toward the center to reduce the window to approximately half its size. Position your mouse pointer over the title bar of the document, then click and drag to move Motocross halfway down and toward the bottom of your monitor screen. Okay. A floating document window can be positioned so that part of it is off of your screen. Position your mouse pointer over the title bar, click and drag to position it at the top of the window beside your AI1-2 tab, then release your mouse when you see a horizontal blue bar. So you're going to redock it as a tabbed window. Close AI1-2 without saving changes if you are prompted. And then close Motocross without saving changes. Now we're going to go back to our PowerPoints for a few minutes. Alright. As we said before, Illustrator features 12 preferences dialog boxes, and preferences affect many aspects of your interface, including guides, smart guides, and rulers. You can think of preferences as the ground rules that you establish before doing your work. One tricky thing about preferences is that if you're just learning Illustrator, preferences refer to things that you don't really know about yet. That's okay. Illustrator's preferences default to a paradigm that makes most of the work you do intuitive. But as you gain experience, it's a good idea to go back through the available preferences and see if there are any changes you want to make or with which you want to experiment. Alright, individual pieces of artwork that you create in Illustrator, such as squares, text, or lines, are called objects. All objects you create in Illustrator are composed of paths and anchor points. When you select an object, its paths and anchor points become highlighted. You have many options for changing the size and shape of the object. One of your most straightforward objects is to use the bounding box. Select any object or multiple objects, then click Show Bounding Box on the View menu. 8 handles appear around the selected object. Click and drag the handles to change the shape and size of the object. So this here shows a bounding box around your pink circle. Alright, when you select multiple objects, a single bounding box appears around all the selected objects. Manipulating the bounding box will affect all of the objects at the same time. Here's keyboard shortcuts for resizing your objects. If you hold down Shift and drag a corner handle, the object is resized in proportion and its shape doesn't change. Alt and drag a handle resizes the object from its center, and Alt Shift drag a handle resizes the object from its center and in proportion. When you copy and paste objects in Illustrator, objects are pasted at center of artboard by default. The Edit menu offers 3 other paste options. The Paste in Front command pastes the copy directly in front of the original. The Paste in Back command pastes the copy directly behind the original. And the Paste in Place command also pastes a copy directly in front of the original. Other useful options are the Hide objects to get them out of your way. They won't print, and nothing you do will change the location of them as long as they are hidden. You can lock an object to make it immovable. You will not even be able to select it. You lock your objects when you have them in a specific location and you don't want them accidentally moved or deleted. You group multiple objects with the Group command under the Object menu. Grouping objects is a smart and important strategy for protecting the relationship between multiple objects. When you click on a grouped object with the selection tool, all the objects are selected. Thus, you can't accidentally select a single object or move it or otherwise alter it independently from the group. However, you can select individual objects within a group with the Direct Selection tool. That's how the tool got its name. Even if you select and alter a single object within a group, the objects are not ungrouped. If you click on any of them with the Selection tool, all members of the group will be selected. If you want to ungroup them, then you'll have to go back into your Objects menu and choose to ungroup. Smart Guides give you visual information for positioning objects precisely in relation to the artboard or other objects on the artboard. When activated, Smart Guides appear automatically when you start moving objects around. And here it shows your Smart Guide so that you can align the two by the top edge of the rectangle there. Alright, so let's go back out to Illustrator and work on the tutorial some more. We're on page 1-27 in Illustrator. In your book, go to Edit, go to Preferences, go to General. Alright, set your general preferences to match figure 31 in your book. They're on page 1-27. And it's a little bit hard to see. Alright, let's see. Go to units. Change your units to inches. Then go back over here. And then set this to 0.0139. Alright. Angle to 0. Corner radius 0.17. Okay, those options are correct. Scale, strokes, and effects needs to be marked. And then after we get that done, keyboard increment determines the distance a selected object moves when you click an arrow key on your keypad. The measurement entered is 0.0139 inches, and it's equivalent to 1 point. The Show Tooltips option will reveal a tool's name when you position your cursor over it. The Scale, Strokes, and Effects option means that, for example, if you apply a 200% scale to an object that has a 1-point stroke, the result will be an object with a 2-point stroke. If you press and hold Shift while pressing the arrow keys, a selected object moves a distance that is 10 times the keyboard increment. So keep that in mind as well. Alright, click Units. Then make sure your settings match those in Figure 32. Inches, points, and points. And object name chosen. Okay. All the general artboard measurements in this book are based on inches. In almost all cases, you'll want to work with strokes and type in point measurements. We're going to click Guides and Grid in the left side of the Preferences dialog box. Then make your settings match those in Figure 33. Custom color here. Okay, note that you have options for showing your guides as dots. Alright. Inches. Up to units. Okay. You want 1 inch in your grid line. Alright. Now we'll go to Smart Guides. Make sure it's like Figure 34, which is hard to see. But you got green, alignment object, anchor. Okay, measurement labels, take that off. 0, 45, 90, 135. Okay. And 4 point. It's a good idea for your smart guides to be a distinctly different color than your ruler guides and artboard grid. Click User Interface and make it the settings like Figure 35 in your book. We're on page 1-28. Okay. The brightness slider defines how light or dark the Illustrator interface is. And now click OK. Now we're going to go in and we're going to open up AI1-2. We're going to save it as objects. Click View. Then verify that the bounding box command says Show Bounding Box. Alright. Right here. Now it says Show Bounding Box, okay? Click the Selection tool. Then click the pink square. Alright, as shown in Figure 36 in your book, the paths and the anchor points that draw the square are revealed as in the object center point. Click View, Show Bounding Box. 8 hollow handles appear around the rectangle. Okay. Click and drag various handles and note how the object is resized. When you're done experimenting, undo all the moves you made, okay? There's also an undo command that you can click here on the edit menu, okay? Press and hold, okay, let me pre-select it. Press and hold Shift while dragging the top left corner of the handle. the object is resized proportionately. Undo the move. Click the green circle to select it. Press and hold Alt and start dragging any corner handle. As you drag, the object is resized from the center. While still holding Alt and dragging, press and hold Shift. Let's don't do that. Let's undo that move and then hit Alt, Shift and Alt at the same time, and then drag. Just resize from the center proportionately. Okay? Alright, now undo the move. Click Select on the menu bar and then click All. All the objects on the artboard are selected. The bounding box appears around all three items. Make it a point to remember the quick key for Select All is Control A. Using the skills you learned in this lesson, reduce the size of the objects in proportion so that they are very small on the artboard. Then click the artboard to deselect the objects. So hold Shift Alt and resize them so they're small. Click File on the menu bar and then click Revert. Alright, it says to revert to save version of the file. So when you revert, it goes back to the way it was when you opened the file, because we haven't saved it since we started working with it. Reverting a file refers it to the status of the last save. It's a super undo. Now click View and then click Hide Bounding Box. Select the star, then copy it using the Control C option. Click Edit and click Paste. A copy of the star is placed at the center of the artboard. Undo the paste. Click Edit, Paste in front. A copy is pasted directly in front of the original star. Select I to select your eyedropper tool. Then click the pink square. The star takes on the same fill and stroke colors as the square. Press the right arrow key on your keypad 10 times. Alright. Deselect all. Click Edit. Paste in back. Copy the stars pasted directly behind the original orange star that was copied. Click the eyedropper tool. Then click the green circle. Press and hold Shift. Then press the left arrow key one time. Press and hold Control so that your cursor switches from temporarily to the eyedropper to the selection tool. Then click the artboard with the selection tool to deselect everything. Pressing Control is a quick way to switch temporarily to your selection tool, remember that. And then compare your artboard to figure 40 on page 1-31. Choose your selection tool, then select the green circle. Press and hold Alt and drag a copy to the center of the square. Okay, notice that it centers. Alright. Your screen should now resemble figure 41 on page 1-32. The method you just used is called drag and drop a copy. Save your work. Control S, File Save, whichever is more comfortable for you, and then close the file. Now open AI 1-3. Save it as groups. Click Object and then click Show All. The document was originally saved with hidden objects, and 3 objects appear, and they are all selected. Click Object on the menu bar and then click Group. Click the Selection tool. Click anywhere on the pasteboard to deselect everything, and then click your pink circle. All the objects are selected because they're grouped. Click the pasteboard to deselect, and click the Direct Selection tool. Then click your pink circle again. Only the circle is selected because the Direct Selection tool selects individual objects within a group. Select Object on the menu bar and then click Ungroup. Okay, it won't let me ungroup without doing a Select All. You have to do a Select All to ungroup. Okay? But now you can go back to Selection tool and click one and they are ungrouped. Okay? Now with the Selection tool chosen, select the small square. Click Object on the menu bar and click Lock Selection. The object handles disappear and it can no longer be selected. Click Object, Unlock All. The small square is unlocked. Do a Select All, which is Control A. Click Object on the menu bar and then click Hide Selection. All objects disappear. Click Object, Show All. The objects reappear in the same location that they were when they were hidden. Hide the pink square, the pink circle in the small square. And then save the file. Click View on the menu bar, then click Smart Guides. If it's not already checked. Okay, mine was, so let's turn it back on. Click the large blue square. Then try to center it visually on the page. Okay, see where it says center when I finally get it there? And let go. Release your mouse when the word center appears. Smart Guides use the word center to identify when the center point of an object is in line with the center point of the artboard. Now show your hidden objects. Then hide your square again. Using the same methodology you just used, align the center of the pink circle with the center of the large blue square. Show the small hidden square again. Use Smart Guides to align the top of the small square with the top of the large square. Now position the small square shown in Figure 45 on page 1-35. Save your work and close the file. Now let's go back to PowerPoint for a few minutes. Bitmap images are created using a square or a rectangle grid of colored squares called pixels. And all digital images are composed of pixels. The number of pixels in a given inch is referred to as a resolution, and bitmap images are resolution dependent. enlarging bitmap images negatively impact image quality. Okay, you get that fuzziness going on. Graphics created in Illustrator are vector graphics, which means they are created with lines and curves, and they are defined by mathematical objects called vectors. Vector graphics consist of anchor points and line segments together, referred to as paths, and they can be scaled to any size, and they are resolution independent, which means that any graphic that you create in Illustrator can be output to fit on a postage stamp or on a billboard. Changing their size won't cause fuzziness or jagged edges in your image. Okay, and this shows the lines of a vector graphic, how detailed they are for the lines and the paths that created it. Alright, so let's go back out and look at that in Illustrator. We're going to go to File, we're going to go to New, and we're going to create a document that is 8 inches wide by 8 inches high. So we want our units to be inches, and we want it 8 by 8. Okay. And we want to name the file Basic Shapes. And then click OK. Now click File on the menu bar. Click Save As. Then navigate to the drive and folder where your data files are stored. And click Save. And OK. Click the default fill and stroke button on the tools panel. Click the swap fill and stroke on the tools panel to reverse the default colors. Your fill color should now be black and your stroke color white. The fill color is the inside color of an object and the stroke is the border or frame. Click the rectangle tool. Click and drag the rectangle tool pointer on the artboard, then release the mouse pointer to make a rectangle of any size. Press and hold Shift while you create a second rectangle. Pressing and holding Shift while you create a rectangle constrains the shape to a perfect square. Create a third rectangle drawn from its center point by pressing and holding Alt. Okay. Click Select on the menu bar. Choose All. Click Edit on the menu bar. Then click Cut to remove the objects from the artboard. Click anywhere on the artboard. When a shape tool is selected, clicking once on the artboard opens a dialog box which allows you to enter precise information for creating the object. In this case, it opens the rectangle dialog box. Type 4 in the width, tab down and type 4 in the height, then tab down. And then you're OK selected, hit enter. And then save your work. Alright, we're going to stop at this point so that the video is not so long and tedious, and we'll pick up with lesson 5 in the second video.